So this week I'm focusing on having a week of self-care because last week I applied for a training course which is basically like a 13-14 week boot camp in skills to do with like data stuff, basically kind of covers a range of things, and I'd really like to do it. I don't know yet whether I have qualified for it though, because it's a government funded course, because there's like a lack of people in the UK that a lack of skilled people in the UK with those data skills. They're kind of wanting to train more people, and so there's a number of courses run by independent companies that the government agrees to fund, and this happens to be one of those, and it's something I'm really interested in doing. I have actually had a voluntary role before working with data, and I really loved it, and I'm kind of in a place in my life at the moment where I've talked before in a previous video, which I think will have gone out by the time this video goes live, about how I've been feeling a bit lost recently and kind of not sure what I wanted to do. And when I saw an advert for this particular course pop up, I was like, oh my goodness, that's something that really intrigues me, and it was something I felt pulled towards for the first time in ages. I can't remember the last time I felt kind of that intrigued by something. Good job, you're eating all your food there, my lovely. And so I did some more research on it, and I decided that it definitely was something I wanted to apply for, and the application was like 30-40 minutes to do, and there's some certain qualifying criteria for it because it is funded by the government. There are certain things you have to meet, but I don't know if I've met that qualifying criteria yet. So things like, you know, are you legally able to work in the UK? Have you been here for more than 3 years? Blah, blah, blah. That obviously, like, I can say yes to, but there were also certain tests you had to do around like your current data knowledge, and I don't know if I knew enough or knew too much, or like what the qualifying criteria is. So I'm waiting, but I should hear probably in the next couple of days, because the closing date is tomorrow on Tuesday, and the first induction session is on Thursday. It's only a 1 hour session, but it starts this week. And then the full-on course will start from next week on Monday, again, if I get it. And if I do get accepted for this kind of skills bootcamp training course thing, then the next weeks are going to be really hectic, because it's 14 hours a week, and it's a mix of like self-led study and online lectures, and you have to attend the online lectures at the time that it happens. And when I was looking at it, I was thinking of all the kind of training opportunities that I'm ever going to find, or like courses, etc. This was probably the one that was going to work best with my current setup. Are you done? Should Mummy clean you up? He's literally, as of last week, learned how to climb on the sofa, so I don't think I'm going to be able to keep him contained to this area for much longer. I'm going to need to get a stair gate for the hallway entrance here. Anyway, where was I at? The course. So this course basically is 14 hours a week, mixture of online and self-led study, but most of it is kind of online lectures at certain times, but they happen in the afternoons across 3 days. And I worked out that actually that would probably work quite well with me also still continuing my self-employed work. And before I became aware of this particular course, I had looked at a number of other courses online through like the Open University and some other sites, and there weren't really like many flexible courses out there, or if there were, like they either took 2 years to complete, but they were part-time, or they were very expensive, or they were like full-time things you had to do. So there wasn't like a lot of options out there. So when I saw this one and I was like, hang on a second, that could actually work for me, I was really keen to apply for it. And it'll only mean I need to put Orin in for nursery 1 extra day a week. But I am going to have to continue working as well as doing that training, because I still need to earn an income. And so I'll need to continue filming my YouTube stuff, doing my editing, creating content for my clients that I have, which is going really well too. So it's definitely doable, but it is going to be much more full on than it has been recently. And so that's why I decided that I would take this week as sort of a self-care week, where I would really focus on doing some things for myself as kind of like a chance to treat myself to several different things that I really enjoy and really like doing before starting this course and having to focus really hard for the next 13 weeks. And if I don't get on the course, then it'll be kind of like a consolation prize for feeling a bit bad that I didn't make it. And also, like, self-care is never a bad thing, is it? You might hear the washing machine going in the background in a minute, but I literally didn't have a chance to put on any other time today. I don't think I've had a day this hard in quite some time now. So Oren was a bit under the weather this weekend. He had a temperature, which I think was just his weekly bug that he seems to bring back from nursery. He seems to vary anywhere from a little bit of a cold through to like full-on vomiting bug pretty much every week that he's been to nursery, which now I think I've lost count now, 8 or 9 weeks he's been there, but of course he only goes 1 day a week. Every single week he's come back with something. And this week it was obviously some bug that he was fighting because he had a bit of a temperature, but otherwise was well, thankfully. And yesterday we had a really warm day here in the UK. I think it got up to like 27 degrees, which is the hottest it's been all year. And so combine that with the fact that he had a bit of a temperature, and I was a little bit worried about him. So he was, you know, obviously in a thin vest. I gave him a dose of Calpol, but obviously when you're aware that your little one's sick, you're a little bit on edge. So last night I didn't sleep that great. And so of course today I woke up and I was tired, and although he was better today, he definitely doesn't have a temperature anymore. He was still just, I think, 1 degree under. He was quite grizzly and just really, he didn't really want to cuddle. Like I picked him up to cuddle and he would just kind of push me away and want to do something else, and I would offer him food, and you know, when you try everything and you just can't figure out what it is, but they just are like all day, and that noise can really, really grate on you over time. So I have to admit, I was quite glad when bedtime came about an hour ago. Yeah, today has just left me knackered. I was tired at the beginning because I didn't sleep so great, and then it was just hard work all day. We went to the supermarket earlier in the afternoon, so we had something to do, but he just wasn't really, he was just trickier today than he would normally be, but you know, he was under the weather, so that's just what happens at times. Anyway, my aim for this week is to treat myself to at least one thing each day. So today's treat is going to be a new book, which I have already downloaded onto my Kindle. And actually, there's an author I really like called Sloane Kennedy, and I've read one of her series. There's like 13 books in the series up till now, and I noticed yesterday when I was on the Kindle app that there was the 14th one in the series showing up, but it hadn't been released yet. So I clicked on to, and like, you know when there's two characters that you know have a story and you're waiting for it to be written, that's like what it was with this particular book. And I went on to see when the release date was, and it turned out to be today. The joy of seeing that you only have to wait a day to read a book that you want to is just, book lovers everywhere will understand. But I actually already have a separate book by a new author that I found, I think yesterday, because I obviously couldn't download that book yesterday because it wasn't released. And I started reading it last night, and it's actually really good. So I'm going to continue reading that one. But it's 7:10 now, and I'm planning to have just a really easy dinner because I've got no mental or physical energy to do anything other than, I think, a packet of noodles and a Frankfurt sausage. So I'm going to do that for my dinner. My mum gave me some strawberries and cream yesterday that need eating up, so I'm going to eat them for pudding. And I'm just going to sit here and read my book because I haven't got a good TV series, and I'm waiting for Bridgerton to be released on Thursday. So I've recently been finishing off some of the last little jobs that needed doing in the kitchen. Obviously I had the whole thing resprayed and handles changed and retiled and stuff a while ago, and honestly after the majority of that had been done, I was kind of fed up with having to do work on the flat, so I left it for a little bit, and there were a few areas that needed tidying up that I just couldn't be bothered to do at the time. But most recently I was like, right, I'm going to tackle these jobs. So one of them was to finish putting some sealant along the top of the tiling that's been done on this side, but also there was a plinth underneath all the cupboards along here that had to be cut down a bit to size with the new dishwasher because it was catching, and I had to pull it out so that it wasn't catching, but obviously it doesn't look aesthetically nice doing that. So my dad came and did that for me last weekend, but obviously we had to bring it in and out quite a bit to fit it in, and in doing so I've managed to just do a little dent in the wall here which needs filling in with some paint. So as I happen to have the giant paint pot, I figured I would try and get this done this morning, and then I can ship this paint pot back off to their house. Hopefully that should do it. Well, it is a particularly dreary Tuesday today. I was hoping that I might get some nice weather today so that I could go outside when I'd finished working and read my book in the sun for a bit, but it doesn't look like that's going to be happening. So the bit of self-care that I've organised for myself today is a head massage later on. I'm not a big fan of like regular massages. I'm quite ticklish. I don't know if anyone else has this problem, but like particularly at one side of my body, I think it might be my right or my left. I can't remember. Well, it's obviously one of those two. I think it might be my right side. But one side of me is particularly ticklish, and so I just can never really relax when I'm having a massage because I'm trying not to laugh. But I do love head massages. So I've booked myself a half an hour Indian head massage for this afternoon. It only cost me £35 to do that. So I figured, why not? You know, I haven't had one in, I can't remember how long. I know I had quite a few massages when I was pregnant because I was feeling so miserable, and it kind of helped me relax and ease aches and pains and stuff. And then I definitely had one early on in my postpartum, but I don't think I've had any since then. I probably should have said earlier in the video, but I have a little pot that I've created on my bank account, where I basically put a little bit of money aside each month, and that pot is specifically titled treats. And so I'm digging into that pot of money that I have for any of the treats I'm having this week. I don't want to use all of it. There's about £100 in there, so I don't want to use all of it up. But I decided to, for this week, particularly for my massage, that I would dig the money out of there for my treat pot for my massage this week. So that's booked for 4:30. However, it's Tuesday, so it's a work day, and I have quite a lot to get done today. It's currently 10 to 10 in the morning. I have a call with a client at 10 a.m. and then the rest of the afternoon I need to spend on editing a video, and it is a long video because when I filmed it, I used up an entire memory card and then I had to get another one. So I've got to actually download the footage from 2 memory cards onto here and then edit it. I reckon it's going to be over an hour and a half's worth of footage. And I know the video is not going to be that long because I messed up a bit, you know, stumbled over my words a bit when I was filming it, but it's still going to be a lot to edit. So that's going to take up the majority of my afternoon, I think, and after I finish this call at 10. So I'll keep my fingers crossed I can get it done today, but if I don't, then I'm going to have to work on that this evening because Thursday is going to be busy with client work too. And I still have yet to hear whether I've gotten to this training course or not, so don't know if I'll hear that today. It is just coming up to 4 o'clock now, so I need to take off to my parents' house because the massage place that I've booked is near where they live. So what I'm going to do is get to theirs a bit earlier. So I'd normally be there for like 5. I'm going to get there a bit more, probably more like 4:15. Park the car, walk up the road to my massage, and then come back. And then I'll obviously pick up Oren and take him home. But I was able to get everything done that I needed to do today, which I was a bit worried about because I knew I had a really long video to edit, which I did. And some of the footage hadn't uploaded successfully, so it took me another hour this morning just to even do that. But luckily I was able to get the editing done. It wasn't too difficult to edit in the end. So all my jobs for the day have been ticked off, and now I can go and fully enjoy my head massage. Also, my hair is in like dire need of a wash, and definitely gonna have to have a bath and a shower this evening, but I didn't want to do it yesterday because when they do the head massage, they put like this oil in, and I thought I can't be asked to wash my hair 2 nights in a row, so I just dry shampooed the hell out of it this morning, and I've left it in, well, it's always in a bun, let's be honest, but I just knocked it up in a bun to keep it fully out of the way, and then I will deal with it later. Oh my god, Orange's just woken up from his nap, and I've just had the email to confirm that I got on the course. Oh, I'm so happy. I did think like maybe they would send it out today because the deadline for applying was yesterday. So I hadn't completely lost hope, but I was trying to, you know, I think keep my hopes down just in case, but I'm so excited. However, the induction is an hour tomorrow, and of course Oren has come up with a rash today. And I think it's just a post-viral rash because he had a temperature at the weekend and it's like a pink spotty rash. I've had like a few kids that have had this before. I have sent a picture to the GP just to see if they could get back to me just to confirm it's what I think it is. But if it is a rash and it is potentially contagious, then obviously he can't go to nursery. So that will be a little bit interesting to navigate around. But other than that, really exciting. Today's bit of self-care is I'm going to go and have a walk with a friend. I did message her just to let her know about Oren's rash and to see what she thought. But we decided that what we'd do is put both our babies in their buggies and keep them separate so they never touch each other. I'm fairly confident Oren's rash is not contagious because, as I've said before, I've seen this sort of viral rash previously and they're contagious before they come up in it. But just in case, obviously, I messaged her and said, if you want to cancel, I fully understand that, but I can, you know, put him in a pushchair and we can just walk around and kind of stay apart if you want to. And she said she was fine with that. So I'm now going to go, I'm still in my pajamas, so I'm going to go and quickly get dressed, get him up, and then we'll be off. It's coming up to 7:30 in the evening. I've got changed into my comfy pyjamas and fleece because even though today's been really warm, my flat is really cool, which is great in the summer because it can keep the heat out for quite some time. Eventually it does seep in, which is a bit annoying if you have like several days of heat, but for most of the time it keeps it nice and cool. but also gives me an excuse to get comfy and cuddly on the sofa. I had a lovely afternoon meeting my friend. This is something we tend to do weekly, but I still consider it a form of self-care. It is self-care, you know, getting to meet and speak to other mums and other adults, not just, you know, my son who can't talk back to me yet. And we went walking, so I got a bit of exercise in too. And I also treated myself to a bubble tea, which I haven't had in a while. So I thought that could be my like little extra treat today. It is grey but dry today, so I was finally able to cycle Oren up to nursery with him on the back of my bike, which is the first time I've been able to do it because last week, was it last week or the week before? I can't remember, but anyway, the last time I tried to do it, I took the bike out the shed and the front tyre was completely flat, so I had to take it back to the bike place to get it serviced, well, for them to check the tyre, because I was like, you serviced this about a week ago, I don't think this is right, and anyway, they think they might have just caught the tubing when they put it in because it didn't have a puncture or anything. And fortunately the tyre was not flat this morning, so I cycled up to his nursery with him. However, I am knackered from that trip. My thighs, I seriously am very out of practice. I haven't cycled in so long that it's going to take me a while to get back into the swing of it, I think. But I'm now like, I need to go back to bed. Which is ridiculous. Literally, Oren slept until 7 this morning. I think I went to bed about midnight and he slept through from when he went to bed. So I got a good 7 hours of sleep, but yeah, still feeling knackered after that bike ride. As it's Thursday, this is my longest work day in the week, so I need to get most of my client work done, and I've got a little bit, I haven't got any editing to do, but I've got a little bit of content creation of stuff that I need to do. And today's bit of self-care is to watch the new series of Bridgerton that was just released today with a takeaway this evening. I think I'm going to have a Chinese. This was actually like the main thing that I planned this week because I've been waiting for this new series to release. Eagerly anticipating it, so I'm really excited for it. I have actually just checked, it's 8:45. I have just checked on Netflix and they haven't uploaded it yet, which is probably quite good because I think otherwise I might have risked not working and just watching that early because I could. So I'm quite pleased that actually I'm going to be forced to work before I watch it. The other self-care thing I might do if I'm still tired after I finish my client work is go and have a nap for a bit, because I often find if I rest and catch up on a bit of sleep, I feel 100 times better. It is just gone past 12 o'clock. I've managed to finish my client work now for the day, and the only other thing I have is the call at 3 o'clock, which is like my initial call about this course that I'm doing, that they're doing to kind of introduce us to the program and everything, which is obviously really exciting. However, I had 3 hours to kill between then and now, and I've just seen that Bridgerton's been released on Netflix. So now we have a big question. Do I start watching it now, or do I hold off until this evening? Oh, how good is my willpower? I actually originally had a plan to watch not the first episode, but the second episode with a friend of mine, because I invited her to come over this evening for a little like Bridgerton fest. We'd have a takeaway together and, you know, watch the first episode and stuff, but she has a Pilates class on a Thursday, so she said, well, I could do Friday, and we sort of agreed that we would both watch the first episode separately and then we'd watch the second one together on the Friday. But I had to cancel that because I realised that I'm giving a talk at a fertility show on Saturday, so I actually need to go and stay at my parents' house on Friday night so that I can leave Oren with them and go from their house, because the trains where they live are a little bit better too. So I had to cancel that, which means I don't have any restrictions on how many episodes I can watch today. So I could start watching them now. Oh my god, I have no willpower. I'm going to watch the first episode. It's just coming up to 7:30 now, and the Chinese has arrived. I also managed to get some baking done earlier, so I've made some chocolate cupcakes too, because I felt like something sweet. And now I intend to fully indulge in this for the evening while I watch the second episode of Bridgerton. Oren's favourite trick at the moment is to take my phone off the side and then throw it on the floor and look at me quite gleefully about it. Isn't it, darling? So this afternoon we're spending it with my mum. We're going to an artisan fair, which she's got tickets to. I think they were free because she has a membership to like everything, RHS, National Trust, all those places, and it's one of those, I think. And yeah, so we're going to do that. That should be really nice to kind of go for a walkabout and stuff. That's at 1:30. It is currently 11:15. Oren slept well, he was really grizzly this morning. Like from the moment he woke up, didn't really want to play. I gave him breakfast, put him down, just like that. But he was just like, he just wasn't happy, and I was trying to work out what it was. So I ended up putting him down to bed half an hour earlier than I usually would, and he conked out and slept for almost 2 hours. So he was clearly tired, poor thing. I was also tired. I didn't get sleep until a bit later last night, not because I was binge watching Bridgerton. I did finish that like before 10, I think, but I just couldn't, I don't know, I just couldn't sleep, so I was still tired. So when I put him to bed and I was confident he'd go to sleep, I went to bed and went to sleep for a little bit too, so that was going to caught up on some sleep. But we are not only going to the Artisan Fair with my mum today, but we're staying at my parents' house tonight because, as I said, I'm doing this speech talking thing on Saturday, and it'll be easier for me to stay overnight there. So I probably need to feed him before we go, and then I need to pack, and then we'll be off. It is 7:30 in the evening now, and I'm just chilling on the sofa. Oren's gone to bed about an hour ago, and I've had my dinner, and I'm just taking the time to chill, and I'm going to rewatch Bridgerton again, of course. But I had a really lovely afternoon today with my mum at the Artisan Fair. It wasn't as big, like we've been here before, and there definitely were less stalls this time. Like there were quite a lot of catering and food stalls, and we weren't really that hungry, even though we'd gone at lunchtime. But we walked around some of the stores, and it's a really nice environment, lovely, pretty gardens, everything. So we had a lovely time, and that was really great. And I always enjoy chatting with my mum. We have such a good relationship, me and my mum. And so I was talking to her about, like, I don't think I've seen her in person since I got the notification to say I'd got on the course. So I was talking to her about, like, how yesterday's meeting went and everything it entails, and like really, really excited about it, which is great because, funnily enough, today's video that's just gone live is the video where I was talking about feeling a bit lost at the moment. And this is the first time I felt really excited and keen to do something new, and like something exciting's happening and I've got something to focus on. So I feel like I'm kind of bubbly again about something, which is just lovely because I there's nothing better than that feeling when you're kind of passionate about something, when you're interested in something and you've got something to focus on. And yeah, it just happened to be like the right time, right fit, etc. So really lovely to be feeling that way again. And yeah, to be able to share that with my mum. That's probably the best form of self-care that I could have done this week. And so that is my week of self-care. As it turned out, it was needed because from next week, things are going to get really busy. To be fair, quite a lot of the stuff that I did this week is stuff that I would just do generally because I think I am quite good at working self-care into my daily or weekly routines as it is, because I've learned over the years, particularly through fostering, just how important it is to have downtime and time for yourself, whatever that looks like for you. And for different people, it looks completely different. So just bearing in mind that you might be someone that's really social and you need to book a babysitter to get out and see friends, to go out and be around people, to go out and do things. Or you might be a little bit more introverted like me and you like to kind of have quiet time to sit and read a book or watch a Netflix series or, go for a massage, whatever it is that you want or that you enjoy. Finding time to do those things, not necessarily every week, at least once a month, I think is a good thing to aim for. But like I said, because I knew if I got on this course, things were going to get very hectic over the next 11 weeks, that it was important for me to try and have as much time this week as possible to give myself some self-care. And I think it worked out well. I've managed to do something every day, I think, this week that I would consider to be self-care for myself, regardless of whether it's something I would typically do or something that I try to do specially for this week. And on that note, things are going to get very, very busy for me over the next 11 weeks. So I'm thinking I'm going to trial doing something a little bit different with my videos. I've had this idea for a while of a different type of video I'd quite like to do, but just never got round to it, or I don't know what it was. Something put me off, or I just didn't have the time to really think about it. But I think this setup might work quite well over the coming weeks, where I'm not going to have as much time to film and to edit videos as I have done previously, because essentially I'm going to be, hopefully if the nursery come back to me and say he's got a place, which I'm feeling fairly confident he will. If they don't, God knows what I'm going to do. But hopefully they will come back and say he'll get this extra day. So I will have 3 days where I have childcare. However, because I've got to do the courses in the afternoon, and as well as the 3 days I've got childcare, there is some self-led study time on the other days too, so my evenings are going to get busy as well. I essentially am going to go from having 2 full days of work that I currently have now to just under 1.5. because I'll only be able to work in the mornings. So what I want to do is a style of video where I sit down and go into sort of more in-depth conversations about things, like kind of when you see people doing those like makeup videos where they're talking to camera while they're doing the makeup and they're just talking about anything really. I don't wear makeup and I don't really have any sort of skincare routine, so I won't be doing that, but I will find something else to do instead, or I might just kind of sit and have a conversation with the camera while I fold washing or something. But I really want to try this kind of more casual conversation to camera about different topics and more deep dive into things a little bit more than I perhaps would do in just some of my, because a lot of my videos I have like a topic that I'm talking about, which is something I enjoy doing and kind of will go into, but it perhaps isn't quite as free flowing as when I kind of sit down and chat to the camera here. And this is stuff I tend to do in my weekly or daily vlogs that I do. I tend to have a moment where I sit down and kind of talk to you guys about something that I'm thinking about or kind of going through a thought process, etc. So I'm going to try out doing that over the next few weeks because I think it might be easier to fit that in with my new content schedule timescales that I'm going to have. And I'll also try and like film some montage throughout the week and put a little bit of montage in as well, so it won't just be me sitting talking to camera. It'll be kind of like other conversations too. But if you have anything, like any sort of conversations or topics or anything you would like to see me sort of deep dive in, you'd like more of an insight into how I think about something, you know, my thoughts around various different stuff, I don't know, literally anything, leave a comment down below and I will go through them, and if I see something I'm like, yeah, that's something I want to talk about, then I will do that. And I'll see if like there's enough things to do this kind of, maybe not every week but every other week, and yeah, just see how that goes. But I do appreciate you all bearing with me through this busier time in my life. I'm going to aim to keep doing weekly videos. If nothing else, I need, you know, to keep my finances up, particularly with an extra day of childcare. But yeah, I'm gonna try something different, and hopefully it'll pay off, and hopefully you guys will enjoy seeing it. But like I said, you know, let me know any of your thoughts, and I'm really curious to see what you guys would like me to casually chat about more. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching my videos and continuing to support me. A special thanks, of course, to my precious star superstars who give me that little bit of extra support each month. It's always really appreciated. If you want to consider joining, you can get early access to my videos. There's a join button down below and also in my description box. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Please subscribe, and I will see you very soon. Bye, everyone. Hope you have a great day.